you guys, welcome to the Ranting Shop. I am Melissa. Today we'll be discussing Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 2 Episode 14. The theme, the primary theme for this episode was centering around Miss Wanda, around what she did or what she got into last episode. So if you didn't watch last episode, it ended on Jalen's event. Melody got up to leave because Martel showed up. She already doesn't like half of the people there. So after Kimmy's speech, she got up to leave. Destiny joined her, and Miss Wanda decided that that was the perfect time for her to get up and go speak to Melody. Now, while she was speaking to Melody, Marta overheard her and decided to get up and follow. When he met up with Miss Wanda, he confronted Miss Wanda about Miss Wanda speaking about his kids, comparing his children to Marceau's children. He didn't appreciate that, and as a result, he was coming to defend his kids and to check Miss Wanda. It was a very confusing situation because you have this throuple conversation. He's having a conversation with Wanda. Wanda is trying to talk to Melody. Melody doesn't want to be near Martel, and Destiny's just trying to make sure nobody fights. So it was a very complicated situation. This episode, Melody has gone off to the car. Miss Wanda continues to fight with Martel, calling Martel a thing, that Martel is acting like a bee. Martel says she's acting like a bee, and they're going back and forth and fighting. He's wanting to know why Wanda was speaking about his children, but I really feel like it had nothing to do with the children. I feel like it was mostly about Wanda talking about him and Wanda telling Melody that she can do better than him. I think it hurt his ego, it hurt his pride, and that is what primarily affected him. It could have also been the children that really ticked him off about Miss Wanda, but right, anybody talking about your children, you would be kind of irritated and annoyed about that. So everyone has come to the conclusion, or everybody already knows, that Wanda is a big problem. Every event, every situation that she's in, it pops off. It's drama filled. It messes up whatever event because it becomes not about the event but about Miss Wanda. So people were really mad this episode. So Miss Wanda is telling Martel while they're still fighting, are you gonna jump on me? What are you gonna do? I'm a woman. And that was it wasn't funny, but I was like, okay. So Destiny pulls Martel away and tells Martel, you cannot let people like get you to this point of anger, because if you had done something stupid and hit this woman, you'd have been in jail. Okay, so there's that. Wanda goes to speak to Melody, right? And remember, at this point, Letitia is going to see what the noise is about. So she's going to her mom, and Miss Wanda is going to speak to Melody, but Letitia goes with her, and Letitia is shouting at her mom, telling her mom, no, that's not your child, that's not your business, stay out of it. And Wanda is trying to speak to Melody, and Melody is like, I don't know what you're talking about. So that was a bit of an issue there. Miss Wanda is upset with, well, Tisha is mad at her mom because she's like, you're always in people's business. That's not your business. She's not your child. She doesn't call you when she's going through issues within her marriage. So why are you so interested or invested in her situation? So there's that. And Miss Wanda really didn't have anything of substance to say. I mean, as a response, because it's not her place, right? It's not her place. So Letitia says Melody is not innocent in any of this, and it doesn't matter if you go through social media and see a certain, I guess, narrative. It doesn't mean that it's true. I don't know if Letitia has some inside information that she knows, but she says that Melody is not innocent. I don't know what that means. Not innocent in the marriage, not innocent in the divorce. I don't know. We all know Letitia doesn't really like Melody. Melody sure doesn't like Letitia. So let's move on. Wanda and all of them, they come back to the table. Martel goes back to the table. The only people that leave is Destiny and Mel. So they come back to the table, and Kimmy is mad because you're disrupting her son's celebratory dinner for drama. And Kimmy's whole thing is that Wanda was not invited to the event, so why was she there? Right? And Letitia takes offense. Letitia is like, well, you greeted her rudely in the beginning, and that's what, I guess that's what created all the mayhem. But at the end of the day, Letitia doesn't make her mother responsible for what she does. Everything is how everyone else responds to it, but nothing is about what Miss Wonda does. The point of the matter is, and I agree with Kimmy, Miss Wonda was not invited to the event, and she was not invited for a reason. However, Tisha ignored that and still brought her mother into Jalen's event. Because she brought her mother to Jalen's event, everything kicked off and popped off. If she wasn't there, this wouldn't have happened. And that's just the truth of the situation. Letitia feels like you cannot leave family out of events, but at the end of the day, Letitia, that wasn't your event to decide who and who was not gonna be invited to the event. So I'm on Kimmy's side on this. Wanda should not have been there. And I don't know what's wrong with Letitia, that she's just unable to see things that are just very easy to understand. She's unable to comprehend very, very easy things to comprehend. Your mother was not invited. You know your mother has a mouth. She's a shit stirrer. Every time she comes around, something happens. Kimmy wanted this to be about her son. She wanted it to be about his accomplishments. And you bringing Miss Wanda distracts people from the reason why they even came to the event. And it's like Letitia just is unable to understand that. Oh, you greeted my mother rudely. And Kimmy's like, well, she wasn't invited. So if she got rudeness, then the rudeness was warranted because I didn't invite her. What was she doing here? And I agree with Kimmy on that. So Martel and Destiny meet up. Martel is apologizing about how he popped off on Miss Wanda. I guess in hindsight, he realizes that he looked like a complete ass, right? Trying to fight this woman, you know? So again, they go back to the whole Melody situation because Destiny was like, Melody's hurting, and but Martel is saying, well, Melody cheated and that she put their business on blast, and I guess that's the reason why everything is the way it is, basically blaming Melody for everything that's happened in their relationship. And again, he just refuses to take responsibility. He's like, I've taken responsibility. I've said what I've done was wrong, but taking responsibility means not having a comeback to say, oh, I did this because of that. No, stop doing that. Isolate the situation and understand that what you did had a major effect on your marriage. Stop blaming Melody. Stop saying Melody did all these things. Because at the end of the day, the reason why the marriage has broken up is because of you, Martel. It's not because of Melody. It's because of you. Okay, so Destiny is trying to make him hold himself accountable. But he's like, he cannot hold himself accountable if he's not also bashing Melody. Then they talk about the male role, the female role. He's talking about women want to be equal in business, but when it comes to other things, the men have to get the brunt of the negativity or the drama, whatever the case is. But that has nothing to do with anything, Martel. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that caused the demise of your marriage. You take responsibility for that and stop blaming Melody. He feels like, oh, I've taken my beating. Now it's time for Melody to take her beating. No, you are the reason your marriage failed. Stand in that, stool in that, sit in that, and think of ways to grow from that. But no, I've taken mine, Melody has to take hers. That is not the approach. For the past couple episodes, that's your approach. Defense. I already took mine, time for Melody. No. As a grown man, take accountability for your actions. It has nothing to do with Melody or nothing to do with what Melody did. It's all about you and what you chose to do in that situation. He's just unable to sit in it. He always wants to jump out and blame other people. Blame yourself. Okay? Then he talks about this double standard of women and men, and then he talks about women have roles and men have roles. So Destiny is challenging him and saying, what roles do women have? He is unable to say anything because he knows if he says or specifies the roles of a woman versus that of a man, he would be getting backlash. He knows he'd be getting backlash. So he chose to shut his mouth. But even without talking, we already knew what he was going to say. Women's role is to satisfy their man, is to treat their man well, is to do this, is to do that. He keeps telling Destiny, you've been married for a year. You know, he's going to tell you your husband. And she's like, okay, whatever. Anyways, let's move on. As I said before, I'm going back and forth. The situation with Wanda happened because although Martel said that it was about his children, it was really about him. He's the type of man where he feels like he's up here. And if people don't see him up here, there's going to be an issue. So the fact that Miss Wanda was talking about him in such a derogatory way, like she could do better than you or she could do better than him, he took offense to that. And I think that's what he got angry about. So Marceau and Letitia talk mainly about the situation with Miss Wanda. Now, before that even happened, Marceau spoke to Kimmy about Miss Wanda and the fact that she was an uninvited guest showing up to someone's event and causing drama. Marceau completely understands he's been dealing with Miss Wanda ever since he married or ever since he got together with Letitia, so he knows. So Kimmy never said anything. She only said that Miss Wanda is difficult to deal with, and Marceau took it upon himself to discuss that with Kimmy, right? So Marceau and Letitia are talking, and Marceau brings up the fact that Kimmy told him that she wants to sanction Miss Wanda from her events. Now, bear in mind, Kimmy never said that. But before they even get into that, they were discussing the house, and Letitia is saying she wants a room for her mom so that whenever she needs her mom, she has a space. And that's what, I guess, spurred the conversation about Miss Wanda and Kimmy. Letitia's mindset is that a tit-for-tat mindset. So if you're not wanting my mom to come to your events, I don't want you to come to my events. And again, very childish, very, I feel like she's a little bit mentally challenged because of her inability to comprehend common sense and to comprehend a situation where people do not want drama, and you know your mother is all about drama. So you would think that she would at least be understanding to the fact that perhaps she shouldn't show up to everything and everything is not for her to attend, but instead Letitia wants to take offense. And I just feel like at this point, there's no getting through to Letitia. Letitia is comfortable just being in the middle. As much as she complains about being in the middle of her mom and various people, she likes to be in the middle. And the reason why I say that is because she brings her mother to situations where she knows you cannot control Miss Wanda and you can't not tell her what to say or what to do. She knows that, but brings her anyway because she's family and you're not supposed to exclude family from certain things. And she settles with the role of, my mother could pop off, I'll apologize later. Isn't it smarter, Letitia, to just not make your mother come to certain things? Isn't that the smartest thing to do? She prefers to bring her mother and then apologize for her mother's behavior after. Does that make sense? I'm sick of Letitia. Letitia, you need to grow up. Your mind is stuck at elementary level. Grow up. You're a woman. You've been married for 20-something years. You have 3 children. Marceau has to be speaking to you like you're a kid. And I notice everyone has to speak to you like you're a kid because that's your level of thinking. You think like a child. So everyone has to come down to your childlike ways of thinking to try and get you to understand mature adult solutions or situations. But you still don't get it. You still don't get it. But anyways, she's saying she doesn't want Kimmy to come to anything either. She's not going to allow Letitia to come. And Marceau's thing is that, well, at the end of the day, don't be so drastic when your feelings are just temporary. Right now, you're temporarily mad at this moment. Don't say things that you'll regret later because of temporary feelings. And that makes a lot of sense. It's almost like Marceau is her father and she's a child. That's the dynamic that I get from them. When they first brought up this Wanda issue, Kimmy felt like, okay, well, since you're not on my side, you're against me, referring to Marceau. And that's the issue. It's not that people are against you if they're not supporting you. It's that adults like Kimmy, and I guess Marceau sometimes, they're able to separate themselves from situations just because it's my family, or it's my mother, it's my father, it's my brother. They're able to stand aside and fully assess a situation from the outside and understand that you are wrong and you need to either be careful or you need to reassess your stance because it doesn't make sense. Okay, he's able to say to his wife that she's wrong, but she takes that as, no, you're against me. And that's the thing with Letitia. She thinks that if you're not blindly loyal to her, that you're against her. That's her issue with Kimmy. And that's her issue with her husband. She feels like her husband is always against her, but nothing she does is justifiable. I'm pretty sure if she did something worth agreeing with, people would agree with her, but she doesn't do anything anyone agrees with. And these are not people that will blindly follow your lead and follow everything you do, whether you're right, whether you're wrong. These are adults that are able to assess situations and think for themselves. And she just does not understand that. You see, again, she thinks like a kid. All right? Now, the problem is, I think, about this whole Wanda situation, is that although Kimmy has always had an issue with Miss Wanda, they've always allowed her to come to events with her messy self. All of a sudden, it's become an issue. But that's probably what the problem Letitia is having. It's never been an issue before to the point where she cannot come to events, but it is an issue now. But I feel like at the end of the day, Kimmy is through. Kimmy she's had it up to here with the drama. She wants nothing to do with it anymore. Nothing to do with it anymore. And Letitia just needs to respect that. Letitia feels like, oh, me and Kimmy are no longer, we're not as close as I thought. We're not sisters like I thought we were. All because Kimmy is not agreeing with the way Letitia is assessing things and the way she's reacting to things. She's not seeing other people's points of view. She's only seeing her point of view and her feelings, and she cannot be empathetic. Letitia's issue is she's unable to be empathetic. She just cannot do it. She cannot do it. And Letitia says she's not going to talk about this on the Mommy Business podcast, because remember, she invited Destiny, who is Melody's friend, and didn't invite Melody, which was very messy. But at the end of the day, Melody didn't care. Or at least that's what she said. So Destiny was invited and Kimmy was invited. And of course, Destiny is always there to stir the pot a bit, talking about why not invite Melody. Melody didn't want to go. And making situations awkward. Anyways, we'll see more of Destiny stirring the pot later. Of course, we have a meeting with Marcus. Marcus is Melody's brother. And she's inviting Marcus to Destiny's event. So Destiny's having this event to get people to go out and vote. It's a Halloween event. I guess you could bring the children, dress up. They'll be in the parking lot of a business place where they could, encourage people to vote and stuff like that. So she's saying she doesn't want to deal with Martel, so she brought her brother. Or is bringing her brother. So Martel says that Melody says that Martel says things to the children that they, quite frankly, don't need to be hearing. Telling the children that Marcus, their uncle, is gay or likes boys, as if it's a negative thing. And that's the thing. Last episode, you're complaining about the children being in the middle of your messy divorce. But at the end of the day, it's not like you are trying to shield them from anything. You're willingly putting them in your business by telling them things they don't need to hear. Why are you telling the children that their uncle likes boys? How is it their business? Why are you confusing these children? Why are you telling them these things? Almost like putting them against their uncle. That is an issue. And that just shows you Martel's state of mind. He wants his children and everyone to be against certain people. But then he's not wanting to take accountability for his own actions unattached to other people's actions. He wants to attach everything with what he's done. But that's not right, Martel. Destiny, Mel, and Tisha have the podcast and we're talking about the business, and Destiny told us or shared with us that she was on bed rest. She had preeclampsia. It was a very stressful situation, having the baby during C19, and we know the hospitals are it's a very scary place. You don't want mommy and baby to have COVID on top of having to birth this child or children. So Kimmy talks about her son graduating and 2020 being their year of celebration. However, with COVID, things didn't go that way. So she chose, I guess, that time for them to, celebrate and have fun and, appreciate and just honored his achievements, but because of Miss Wanda and her drama, things didn't really go that way, and things didn't really stay on Jalen. It became about Miss Wanda. So Destiny talked about, everything. Well, Kimmy is talking about her son and 2020, and then Destiny goes, well, everything was good until the party, stirring the pot like Destiny normally does. She's acting like she doesn't want to be a part of drama, but is secretly saying things to create drama. Destiny, you're not fooling anyone, Destiny. I see you. I see you and your messy self. Anyways, Tisha brings the sanctioning issue up and says, well, you told Marceau that you're sanctioning my mother from events. And first of all, Kimmy never said that. Marceau said that. Okay, Tisha is upset that Kimmy spoke to Marceau about the situation and not her. But then Kimmy is saying, I didn't want to speak to you about her. I could deal with Miss Wanda on my own. It's Marceau that brought up the whole situation with Miss Wanda. Right? And if it wasn't for Miss Wanda, things wouldn't have went as badly as it did. Period. Right? But Letitia, as I said before, is just comfortable apologizing for her mom. But she still wants to invite her mom to events. She likes being in the middle. It's just that Kimmy has had it with Miss Wanda. So at Destiny's event, something that was a little funny but not funny, because we know Marceau is this traditional Southern man. So they're talking about, what's his name? Their friend. They have the weirdest names I've ever heard before in my life. Anyways, he wants to have it a little getaway with the guys and asking Martel if he's gonna be with his kids. He's saying no, not next week. And then he's telling Marceau, well, you're never with your kids. And Marceau is like, I'm always with my kids. I don't feel like he's really as involved in his kids' lives as his wife is, but whatever. He joked about being a father, and apparently that fatherhood is about just taking care of the children when the mother has gone. I really feel like that's what he feels. He feels like fatherhood is taking care of the children when the mother is not home. And that's all he does, in my opinion, I think. Because Marceau doesn't strike me as the type of man that likes to take care of his children or really be too much around them. He wants to work, he wants to do what he wants to do, and he wants his wife to be the one to take care of the children. To me, that's what I get from Marceau. But Marceau, what you don't understand is that the children are gonna kind of resent you for not being as involved in their lives as you should be. As much as you have your old ways of thinking, the children are not gonna say, oh, that's just daddy. They're gonna say, daddy wasn't really there to have conversations with me and talk to me about certain things. It was more my mom. That's what they're gonna say. And I don't feel like Marceau is grasping or understanding that. He thinks that a man is supposed to work and a woman is supposed to take care of the children. Well, he's in for a rude awakening when the children tell him that he was never really involved in their lives. But whatever. Marcus and Martel show up at the event with the same costume. Marcus goes to speak to Martel, that goes left because he says that the children are asking Marcus's husband to be their father. And that throws Mr. Martel completely off, child. He was ready to fight at that point. He's like, don't tell me none of that stuff again. Don't tell me that again. And oh, Lord have mercy. Well, Marcus came with the energy of, like, how are you since you threw your wife out of your life? First of all, that's not starting on a good foot. So you cannot expect the conversation to go positively from there. Anyways, they had their words. He's like, I'm gonna beat you up if you say that again. And then Marcus is like, bitch ass. That was so funny. It really wasn't. But anyway, it was mostly about Wanda's drama and a little bit of Martel and Melody situation. And a little bit about Letitia and her childishness. Letitia, you need to grow up. But anyway, this episode was not as juicy as the last episode, but it was alright. Next episode, we see more continuation of this episode. And we're gonna talk about it next week. So if anybody has anything to add, if anybody agrees with me, if you disagree with me, let me know. And like, subscribe, and let's have a conversation about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Anyways, see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.